Welcome to the Shades1ification podcast. I'm your host, Siren Core. I'm here today with Kalum Armis. He's a former marijuana grower in Colorado. He's a current marijuana shipping expertise. What is it? What's your job exactly? Courier. Courier. That's the yeah.
Yep.
I was like, you're not a truck driver. You're a courier.
Yep. But I do drive a truck.
You drive for sure.
I drive for sure.
But anyway, welcome to the first podcast. You're my first guest on my first podcast because my agent told me I have to have one. Here's the thing. People talk about like they do this, they do that, right? It's like I don't think I count as a comedian. You have to have years of experience to count as people have to know who you are, then you're a comedian. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't count as a game streamer because my last channel got deleted, and that's where the library was of like 3 years of streaming. You know what I mean? So I don't count as a streamer anymore. I've only been technically with my new channel. I've only been doing it for a few months. I'm not even really a musician, even because I don't do live shows. I've had albums, but I don't do live shows.
But you do it all.
I do a lot of things. More than that, I wrote the script for Raven Rock, and we're looking for potential studios to plug the pilot with. But I wrote Raven Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are like, "What the fuck's Raven Rock?" I go, "Yeah, nobody knows what it is because it hasn't been made yet." You know what I'm saying?
Not yet. But when it does come out,
you're gonna be in it for sure.
Fuck yeah.
We're gonna ship you out.
As a weed delivery driver.
Honestly, you would play in the movie. Honestly, you would play Detective Reed. I actually wrote it for Alex, but Alex, like, not to be rude about it, he's just a bit of a shy. But I've got Jason Sheffield as Detective End. I honestly want to play the Stranger. I want to play the Stranger so bad. But if I'm going to be the honest-to-God director of the film, I'll let go of being a part of it. I'll let go of it.
Well, sometimes being a part of your own film is the best part about the film.
Well, I'm already the writer. So if they're going to bring on someone to actually be a director, I'm going to let it go and be like, fuck yeah, do it, bro. Take over. You know what I mean? Because you find the right director, you know he's going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
As long as they believe in the story that you believe in. Even if they want to tell it a different way, it might not be bad. You know what I mean?
But what if they tell it in a way that doesn't at all look like what you thought?
It might not be bad, though. Just because it's not what I want. Also, you got to scream. You got to speak up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because you're on the phone quality. You're on the phone quality. You just have to be precise.
Can they hear me?
I have no idea.
There you go.
But anyway, we're talking about Colorado marijuana. There's a lot going on in the state. They still have illegal marijuana sales as well as, you know, the commercial marijuana that you deal with. But what can you tell me about some of the prices and how they've changed in the last year, especially since the illegal marijuana has really dissipated and completely gone away, except for people who are doing homegrown operations, right?
Well, so a lot of weed in the government facilities have to be hit with a certain amount of pesticides, has to be recorded with that, has to come out at a state, like a certain
Sorry.
a certain humidity, a certain dryness. It can't be too wet. It they check everything for like.
There's regulations.
There's so many rules and regulations within the cannabis, the legal cannabis weed, that whenever you do buy black market stuff is because the flower didn't have to go through all the processes before it hits the shelves and to the people. So, like, let's say you harvest a plant in a commercial grow.
Yeah.
Correct? And then after harvesting it, you have to cure it, which, let's say this takes a whole process of a month or 2 months.
Right.
The curing and the putting in the buckets to cure it, and then from curing it, actually...
Like, really, like the process.
The whole process, let's say it takes 2 months, yeah?
Yeah.
2 months in the warehouse, then from that, it has to be sold to these discos, which sometimes that could take from a month to
will it actually sit on those shelves? Because I know you deal with smaller shops, but like for those, yeah.
It will sit in a grow's storage unit till they can sell it, and then once they can sell it, they will ship it. And in transit, I mean, I'm the one transit most of the things.
Yeah, you're the courier.
I know for a fact. It's just like when if you guys are like, oh, let me go buy some food at a restaurant real quick and then take it home. The condition that food comes when you get home is never going to be the condition the food was at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Same fact.
Well, can I just say something? There's a degree of that, but that's not so much the day that you ship it. You're more talking about the fact that it's sitting in those facilities, that's storage for months. What's the expiration on some of these things? Is there a regulation for expiration dates?
Now, recently, they are putting expiration dates on
because it got so bad. Colorado weed used to be known as some of the best. Strawberry cough used to only come out of Colorado. But
the issue with it being like on shelves, like regulated with an expiry date,
right.
It's not when you cut down the plant and start curing it. It's when that bud went to that dispo. That dispo has now put a date on it as if it was just magically there the day it was cut down.
Damn.
And whether or not it was
But
cut
they
down,
sell it like that. But in reality, what you're getting is like months old.
And now another thing is, a lot of this bud has to go through testing. And I'm not saying like every bud gets tested. They take out like the best bits of the cannabis to test it at a facility, just so the best quality bud that they're sending to this facility should pass all microbial.
It's because it's like, they say like one bad apple ruins the bunch, but if you make sure to give them the good apple, then it's a good bunch.
Yeah, so anyway, that is also some sketchy part about grows.
Do you remember about the people who would test marijuana back in the day? It wasn't for what you're talking about, commercial grade. We're talking about people who give like reviews and who give like field testing. Like a company will send them like a kit of different weeds, give them to grade it, the flavor. You know what I mean? Like almost like a surveyor.
You know what my issue about these grading things are?
Yeah.
They're not taking a nug from every freaking plant. They're just taking the best nug from the best plant and being like, all right, let's test that. And everything else, like, dude, you could have a plant that was grown in the fucking water, like in a pool of water that's been sitting on a table, and that bud is like filled with mites and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
And then you can have the same strain across the room that has the best lighting, the best air, the best fucking this and that. And that bud right there is now the one that's going to be tested, while the ones that are going to hit the shelves were the ones growing in the puddles.
Fuck, man.
So what like?
So they're only growing weed, but so much of it is getting sent out to testing. That's the thing about regulation, though, is you can't just send it off to test. They want to know what's going on in the facility. Do you know what I mean?
So, well, that's the issue. Regulations are weird in Colorado. They have like an MED, and the MED like comes around here and there. But the issue is, the MED don't really know what they're looking for.
Explain to the audience what that is.
The MED are like the government. Like the government side of cannabis. Like the government was like, we want to be involved in cannabis.
Wait, are they the Marijuana Enforcement Division?
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so they're really there to make sure that people aren't selling the crap that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's basically the cops that come, but they don't know what they're looking for because they're not cultivators. All of them are cops that get into that side of life, or not cops, not straight up cops, but like, you know what I mean, like the housewife that doesn't know anything about cannabis but knows.
It's her husband. That's the deal. Like her husband, which is the marijuana side business for real. And then the wife is the one in charge of the books, but she doesn't know anything about marijuana. She just knows everything about books. She's great at keeping up books, but she doesn't understand.
This is in the MED. I'm talking about the MED people.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
They're
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, in this metaphor, the husband is the marijuana business itself, and the wife keeping the books is the MED.
Yeah, I guess that's
Is that a bad example?
No, it's not. It doesn't work. What I'm trying to say is the MED are like, they're basically like everyone who got into the MED as the job. They weren't the people who were like, oh, I want to work in the weed industry. Let me work in the weed industry. No, they're the people who go, oh, wasn't weed illegal once? Once, you know, honey? And talking to the husband, and the husband was like, yeah, but now we don't arrest those people. Those drug addicts, you know, and the wife is like, oh, okay, so how do we like control them? Oh, well, you could like work in this industry right here. This is how the cops are paying attention.
So you're saying they're not people who are interested in marijuana. These are people who work in government.
Yeah, they work in government.
They're not in the marijuana industry. They're in the government. They're bureaucrats.
Yeah,
They're regulationists. They're people who are trying to become senators.
Exactly. That's who.
So they're trying to they try to make a point. They try to create laws. They try to create regulations because they're the ones who created it, and then they'll get the position. So that's the real problem, then, because you're getting people who are involved for the wrong reasons. Then they're not trying to regulate the industry. They're trying to do the same thing they do to all industries, which is create laws, put themselves ahead politically, and then hey, they're the ones that put ahead these laws. It's the same thing with people who do the same thing trying to become senators through judges.
And you know what the best part about it is? They're based in Florida.
They're not Colorado-based?
They're not Colorado-based. And so, anyway...
That's a problem.
They control all the weed laws, though, from Florida. And so that's the laws that we have to abide to by growing. And the issue with that, like, 100%, is so these MED people come in to like look at the grows to shut them down on something because they're not doing something right?
They're trying to make sure that the commercial weed is like Coca-Cola. It's the same thing everywhere you get it. You're not going to get duped.
So what they should be...
That's what it's really... You know that's what it comes down to. Like when you go and get a drink from the gas station, you shouldn't have to wonder if this one's going to be good.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it really comes down to.
Okay, let me explain this one point. So on the MED, so the MED then will have guidelines that they have to adhere to, right?
Yeah.
But the guidelines that they're putting out doesn't really show the quality of the bud. It doesn't. All it's doing is like they want to see your pesticide shelf. They want to see all the pesticides you use on your plants, and they want to see how you properly.
So they're not looking at the marijuana. They're not testing the marijuana. They're making sure that you have the proper storage, and they have to make sure that you're on schedule. So
you're following the guidelines of how everything.
So when they test the marijuana, they're not testing it for marijuana. They're testing to see if the pesticides are in it.
The people who
That's fucked up.
Are testing for that, and they also work for the government, but they work mostly in weed.
Now here's the real question: what company is creating those pesticides?
Bro, there's so many different ones, but like I don't want to put any companies on blast because like I don't know any.
Then you find out they are government, and they're like, Mr. Armish, is it? And you're like, shit.
The main name household that you see for all the nutrients and all that is Botanicate. That is quite a big.
By the way,
nutrients and pesticides.
By the way, just to cut you off so that it doesn't sound like you actually gave a real name to a company, would you mind checking YouTube real quick to make sure that you've been able to hear yourself on the stream and me, and to make sure the stream's smooth?
Let me get to my computer. Because if I do it on my phone, it won't work.
No, I was like you could just show up on the phone real quick. You don't feel me?
Hold up, let me try. But no. So with the fact is, cannabis is so regulated here, with so many different things that they don't really understand what they're really like, how they're really like. Making their rules and regulations, they don't know what it's really doing to the cannabis.
Well, it's not their job. That's what starts to bother me as I go. You're talking about the fact that they're just making sure that the poisons are there.
Wait. Hold up. How do I listen to just...
Nah, just here. Call me back.
Okay.
A bang bang, a bang 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 ba. Wait. Has this needed to be this loud the whole time? Oh shit. Callum. We were quiet the whole time. We had a low audio res to begin with. We were both in the quiet zone. Anyway.
That I listen to people talking to me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just dropped my damn...
You and I were definitely heard, but we were kind of quiet.
Here, hold on. Hold on. It's really this simple. He made this out. 1, a 2, 2. 1, a 2, 2. One, one, a two, 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 one, 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 one. Two, 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 one, one. Oh, hey, you can actually see. Okay, we definitely made it better. Oh, fuck, you gotta call back. And look, you can see. Go back and listen to me. Yeah, no, yeah. Wait, what the fuck? It won't let me.
Definitely made it better. Oh, fuck, you gotta call back.
Wait, well, it won't let me. It won't let me. Why won't it let you back up? It won't let you. It won't.
Go back and listen to me. Yeah, no, yeah.
It won't let you rewind. We've probably been quiet this whole time. That's a fact.
No.
Can you rewind?
Yeah, I could rewind a little bit.
I feel like it's okay.
But that's because I was doing the tap backwards.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I think it's okay.
It's definitely good now. We were talking about so much shit, and I'm like, dude. Not only that, but the physical audio thing was short. I didn't realize the audio quality was so bad.
It was that bad.
Like, no, the audio quality, like, I'm already live streaming like a fucking like a phone.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, huh?
You come in fine, but I already sound like a phone.
That's crazy.
This is crazy.
With the LED being the way it is, it's just really hard to get good product on the shelves in time.
Wait, before we continue the conversation, this podcast is sponsored by TWFG Insurance. Our policy is caring. That's TWFG Insurance, the Katy branch. Find us on Instagram, TWFG Katy Insurance. You can win a $100 gift card right now for each customer you send their way. For every customer you refer, they'll give you a $100 Visa gift card. That's up to 3 referrals to get a $400 Visa gift card. Try it today. Get this going today. TWFG Insurance. You can find the Katy branch at TWFG-KATY. That's at TWFG-KATY. Tell them Siren Course sent you. You can get a Visa card today. But you also have to sign up for insurance. Anyway, back to the stream.
Okay, so, sorry, I was trying to get myself some insurance.
The one thing I want to ask you about the most is when you were working at, where were you working when you were working in you're working at Natty Rims?
Yeah, when I was a cultivator.
What was it like when you started working there versus like your last day? Because like when you first started working there, was it like, what was the environment like? Because from everything I know, this was a company that was like, it wasn't the biggest company, but it decided it was going to get huge, and so it blew up probably further than it knew how to handle. You know.
So it was a great. It honestly was a great starting job, I guess, into the company or into the
industry, you know.
Industry, but like truthfully, it was probably the harshest, most intense environment to work in, just because you felt like you were going to get fired every day.
Every day, really? You worked there for years.
The only day that I didn't feel like I was going to be fired was the day I started.
Wow.
Every day after that felt like if I didn't work my hardest or give it my everything, I will be fired.
Jesus.
And honestly, like, I did a whole lot of things in that company and learned everything top to bottom. Like, my boss, the one who taught me everything,
yeah,
she taught me how to grow cannabis. Like, top to bottom. She truly taught me how to grow the plant. How it's done and how you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I know everything. But how the company was, it made it hard on her. She had to do what she had to do and act the way she had to act to get the leg up in the company, and it wasn't good. You know, it's not good how they have to be.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
When it comes to Natty Rims, is it true that their extracts were made with it was never made with full bud? What are you clicking on? What is that?
I'm sorry, just doing some onion chopping.
It's like super loud.
Okay. I didn't know it was that loud. But no, so
roll your wrist. Roll your wrist. No, but what I was gonna ask is it true that the extracts that came from there was always made with like the half crap? It was never made with full bud?
Oh, it was always like, it's always bud, like it's flower.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's usually like the floor buds or like keef or...
Floor bud?
You know what I mean? Floor bud is like...
stuff that falls?
Yeah, falls on the floor, gets stepped on, gets pushed in the puddles. And they were like, you know what? It's dirty, but we could press it out.
We can, yeah.
And so that's what they do. They press it out. It's disgusting. And this is why I tell everyone, just don't do it. Don't get that fucking sweet. No, it's not good. Because you're literally giving them profit on something they should have just thrown out.
You're turning what is that called? When you turn wasteful expense into income.
Into profit, yeah. So like they feel like they've done nothing wrong. You know what I mean?
The one thing that gets me though about companies like that is, you know, Kevin O'Leary. I don't know if you know him. He's one of the Shark Tank people.
Yeah.
He's not the cool one. That's Mark Cuban. This is the smart one. But Kevin O'Leary was talking about the fact that he can't work in New York anymore. On I think it was like CNN or something the other day. He's like, you can't invest in New York anymore. You can't invest in New Jersey anymore. You can't invest. You know what I mean? And he was talking about all this different stuff, and I go, you know, this guy. I don't think people realize how many things he's involved in. But Kevin O'Leary has marijuana companies in Colorado. You know what I mean? It's mostly small extract bunches that sell directly to chain. But I was going to ask you this. Are there any companies that you know of that do not sell on a small level at all, that came from nowhere and showed up on the market already, like cemented itself within the supply chain and never had to go local? Like, because those are the companies that I think about and I go, the people like Kevin O'Leary, like that's what he would do. What he would do is he gets a place, he gets their production.
Green Dragon?
What's it called? Green Dragon?
Yeah. They're a huge weed company.
They just popped up out of nowhere?
No, they've just been there. You know what I mean?
They
never started small. It was never like they just like had an entire backing. It was just like, yep, we're a company that does weed. I'm not saying they had good shit. Like, I'm not saying, oh, it's the best weed in the world.
Right.
They just were always on the market. They were like, yep, we're a company and we're here.
We're a company and we're here. Oh,
They're
man.
like Walmart of weed.
The Walmart of weed?
Yeah, there's 3 companies that are Walmart of weed. And I don't know the third one, but Silver Stem is one, and Green Dragon is the other.
That's fucking wild that they're both colors.
Yeah.
One's called, you have green dragons, and then you have the smaller red dragons.
Dude, that'd be hilarious. No, but it's fuck, what do they say? Green Dragon and Silver Stem.
No, but tell us about your day job nowadays. You're not in the marijuana growing business anymore. You're a pure courier. What's your day been like with the snowstorms?
Oh fuck, dude, it's been rough. Like,
is it better now? Is the weather finally clearing up?
Oh, it's getting way better now. But like, you know what, bro? Y'all don't need the weed that bad. Y'all don't need it that bad.
Tell us about your worst snowstorm day in the last 2 months.
Guys, there was a moment where I was on the highway, and cops ushered everyone off the highway, but I snuck through.
Because you had to go.
Because I had to go.
They're like, the snow's too much, bro, and you're like, I've got a schedule.
Yeah, there was another time, bro, where I was driving sideways the whole way. Like, the whole way down a mountain. My tires were pointed to the left a little bit, but I was going straight. Jeez. And I knew that's how I was driving. And I just kept going. I was like, fucking, yep, this is life.
Have you learned how to drive on ice, and you never brake, you just accelerate with your turns?
No, you gotta brake, man. You gotta brake.
That's how you slide, though. You accelerate to get moving in the other direction, though.
No, you gotta pump your brakes, bro. You gotta pump your brakes. You can't slam it. And when I mean pump it, I'm not saying like,
Is it like once you slam your brakes and it starts sliding, you don't have control anymore, right?
No, you have control, but you're pretty much fucked. You have to like find the groove to like the groove in the snow, like, because what you're sliding on technically is just a pile of snow that's been like driven on so intensely by cars that it's turned into like a block of ice.
Oh, it's pressed.
Yeah,
it presses, and it's pressing with, like, you know.
And so, like, really, when you're sliding like that, you're following like a groove. And if you go against that groove, you're gonna flip. But if you can follow it, you're probably gonna like get out of it at some point and be like, oh, I'm back on the road. I got grip.
Back on the road.
So, but like, straight up, bro, like, the fucking, the amount of times I've gone over that mountain and it's been terrible, and like literally at the end of the day, everyone's like, yeah, oh, you're just cool. It was cool. Yeah. Good. You did your job. You know.
No, you did your job.
Like not even like if it's like, you know what I mean? Like what the fuck I'm doing is actually dangerous for my life. Like,
yeah, dude.
I'm being a goddamn superhero every day with it kind of attitude, and it's like, you know, like, I bet when it's summer, it's going to be really nice out. I hope you guys don't let me go for that shit. You fucking assholes. Maybe drive in the worst conditions. Like, the worst conditions, man.
I will say this, though. I'm glad that you haven't died on one of those drives, you know?
Oh, yeah. I'm a professional fucking.
Well, that's how my I told you about this, right? That's how my cousin Buddy. That's how he died. He was a truck driver, dude. He had early ass mornings.
You told me, and he fell asleep.
That's what we think. That's the story. But the truth is, you don't know. You don't know.
truthfully, bro, I've been, like, so safe. I go so slow.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous. There's times where I'm going fast, but it's, like, in a situation where, like, you know nothing is really going to happen.
You know you're
like,
fine. You know it's okay.
If something did happen, it wasn't because, oh, there was ice, or, oh, there was a car here, oh, there was that. No, it was, I looked at my phone for way too long and just drifted off the fucking road. Not bad.
I will say one thing. I went to San Antonio for that one the Six Flags trip with Ashton, and I almost drove off the fucking road looking at my phone, and he's the one who had to tell me.
Yeah, dude, that shit.
The roads suck. I didn't know where I was going. I was actually fucking lost. You know what I'm saying?
Shit like that happens. I do that all the time. Like, I don't like actually fall off the road, but there was one time, bro. I was driving, right?
Well, that's what I was asking you about. I'm like, with these roads that you really don't have any knowledge of, how do you maneuver it? Do you just have a good map?
Yeah, you just have to have a GPS on, and if the GPS is gone, like if you've lost signal and like it's been bugging out, bro, just turn on your brights and fucking Asian drive this shit. Go slow and look, use your eyes. Be like, motherfucker. And just keep looking at the line. The line is your guide of the road.
No, but I'm like, do you ever pull off just to make sure, like, okay, I need to do this, and that. It's not going to connect, so I need to know the road names.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think I've been to my places so often now that I don't need to do that, and I don't think about stuff like that.
So you're just one of many courier places, but the courier shop that holds the weed and sells it as a distribution, is that simply a distribution center? Do they work with the actual growers, and do they buy bulk from them and hold it, or do they sell on their behalf with a commission? Because that's an important question.
They sell on their behalf with the commission. Like, no.
So they don't buy bulk and then sell.
They don't buy shit. What happens?
They're just a storage and distribution.
Yeah. Let's say somebody is like, let's say, since we already said Natty Rems, let's say Natty Rems is like, yo, we're selling our weed, and this guy all the way in Durango, which is like 4 or 5 hours away.
Yeah, he's put in an order.
He put in an order. How are we gonna send it there? Do we have a driver that works for us? No. All right. There's a third-party service that delivers this weed. I'll give them a call.
Well, let's make sure we're talking about, because you could just ship weed in the UPS or whatever, but I'm like, what you're doing is business to business. You're going to shops. You're selling bulk.
Yeah. I'm going to shop, but like.
By the way, speaking of that, how much marijuana do you think is in your truck, like on an average basis, versus what it could really hold?
Bro, I probably carry at least 100K to like. On small days, like 35K worth of product.
Fucking Christ!
I don't know how much that weighs, but that's like probably the amount I carry.
If you were in that truck and it was full, and you went in time, you just went through a time bubble, and a cop pulled you over and found all that weed, how many life sentences? It's not how many years. How many life sentences do you think you would get?
I'd be probably going through like 3 or 4.
Do you think Netflix would have a special of you by now, the same way they have a Narcos?
They would have put me on the chair, bro.
They put you on the fucking chair!
My final words would have been like, but this is legal.
No, you know what your final words should be if that is you, if you end up in that situation?
Call my boss.
No, you just remember, you all worked for Pablo. Just tell him that. You all work for me. I get money from all of you. You all work for me.
You all work for Pablo.
Just remember, you all worked for Pablo. All of you worked for me. And then they kill you. And then they're just like, what did he mean by that? No, say you, say we. Be like, we all worked for Pablo. All of us worked for him. And they don't know who it is yet because you're too back in time. But it's right there in the 70s. And Pablo's all the way in Colombia like, how the fuck does he know me? And the CIA is like, how the fuck does he know him? And then the government's like, how the fuck do you two know each other? And they're just like, fuck. Well, we're like watching him and sending him money and guns. Ah, that's what you said, bro. You need to chill. I don't actually know what the relationship was between them. I just know it's the way they tell it on Narcos isn't true. Because the CIA was working with the Colombian cartel to make cocaine. It's like a very known thing.
Yeah, the CIA has done a lot of weird things.
Well, here's the story. Is apparently they know how much Pablo made because literally the CIA was getting a major cut of it. They were getting that money and they were funding operations with it outside of the government's permission because they weren't sending money to the CIA to do it.
Huh.
Yes. The real question is, have you noticed that the Taliban recently got a shit ton of weapons when Biden completely withdrew? When he just pulled out like a bitch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You notice like it was the Taliban, the Al-Qaeda, and Afghanistan forces, and the what do they call it? There's a word for it. Anyway, they all got those weapons, and there's like billions of dollars worth of brand new equipment, and I'm just like, bro, I'm pretty sure the CIA just said, let us take it. Leave it alone. Leave it there, and we'll grab it. And now they're talking about selling those weapons. Those weapons have been directly sold on both the Ukraine and Russian side of the war. Did you know that?
Wow, I did not know
Both
that.
Russia and Ukraine, both. Like they're using weapons right now that were specifically bought for and designed for by Americans with our taxpayer money for our soldiers. Like 13 people died on that withdrawal. You know that? 13 men in arms. And Tim Kennedy was on the ground pulling people out and doing the rescue mission. The evacuation, you know?
Yeah.
And what this has to do with marijuana is that the Kush Mountains have been awfully quiet. You know what I'm saying? Well, nobody talks about the Kush Mountains, bro. Why is that? Have you ever actually had weed from Afghanistan? Like Afghan Kush Mountain weed? Like Saudi Arabian weed? Have you ever seen any weed like that?
No, I haven't. Like, Durban poison?
Oh, is that Middle Eastern weed?
Yeah, Durban poison. It was a land race, and it came from Afghanistan.
Shit. That's fucking hard, actually.
It's no longer the same strain. I highly doubt that the ones on the shelf is the same, you know?
Yeah, especially because they make it here now. But it's a strain from the Middle East?
Yeah. It came, the strain itself came from the Middle East, and it was one of those strains that just grew in the wild.
Whoa, really? For real?
Yeah, like nobody grew it.
It's not a child of a child weed.
Yeah, it's not nothing of that. That's what a land race means. It means it was born on the earth, and it's fucking God's gift.
Jesus.
There's like only so many land races that exist nowadays, and I can't tell you all the ones because I don't know them. I don't know who,
right?
You know, what land race is what. But I know Durban poison is one because that one technically, even though we have the strain, is no longer existent in most people's horizon. But that's because, think about it. Just really think about it, bro. Do we really have the knowledge of what the fuck's growing in Afghanistan?
No, we don't have any knowledge of what's growing in like a couple miles from us. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck no. We don't know shit.
There's no way to know. There's no way to know what people are growing in their garage either.
No way to fucking know. No way to really fucking know. But anyway, so chances are that strain still exists in Afghanistan and is growing really happy.
It's probably just out there just being happy.
Yeah, nobody smokes me.
What do you think the future of weed is going to be, bro? As a final follow up.
Huh.
Like, where do you see weed in 10 years? Do you think it's going to be the same thing? Do you think it's done evolving?
I don't know.
Anyway.
We're talking about weed, like, evolving?
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for watching the first podcast. Callum, thanks for being here.
Of course.
I hope this has been fun for you. It's been fun for me. See you later, everybody. Say goodbye. Oh, hey, how do you reach you? Do you want to do any last like?
Honestly, you guys could see me on the Sarin Core Elden Ring. That's usually where you'll find me.
You can also find him on YouTube, Storyteller. He's in the comment section as we speak. Anyway.
I usually am.